host, Janice Montgomery Albo-Kystras, with my guest, Virginia Robertson of Dental in Defense. You're joining our interview in progress.
Yes. People can identify. Yes. Identify with that. And so I say that because you're now living in Grand Prairie, Texas.
That's correct.
And that's where? Outside of Dallas?
Right outside of Dallas. Actually, it's in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth.
That's true. That's
yes.
true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that said, a few months ago, we met a young woman whose friend was brutally gunned down by her fiance.
Yes.
She left behind 5 children?
5 children, yes.
And you made a statement when you heard about that. You said what?
You know, domestic violence, it's, 1 in 3 women going to experience domestic violence. Mm-hmm. It's usually going to be someone that we know, mm-hmm. So we do have to, again, equip ourselves. 1 in 5 women are survivors of rape.
I didn't know that.
That's a staggering number. And
1 in 5?
1 in 5. And let's not forget, some of that 1 in 5 are from our acquaintances, people that we know, our long-term friends. So we have to equip ourselves.
Does domestic violence, Virginia, happen to all manners of people? How can I say this? Transsexual, LGBT?
Domestic violence can happen to anyone. Across all groups in society, regardless of their age, their gender, race, religion, sexuality, wealth, or geographical area.
And you mentioned this morning that even men can experience domestic violence. Would that be from other women, from women, or from men?
I have personally known a man who experienced domestic violence from his wife.
Really?
Yes, I have. It's rare of occurrence, but it does happen.
My question would be, did he deserve it? I shouldn't ask that. I'll edit that out.
Yes.
I'll edit that out. But sometimes I think, on the side of that, sometimes I wonder if women are just protecting themselves.
Like as it is for women, men, you can't say, well, they're protecting themselves, because if they're protecting themselves, then they are the person that is being abused. Mm-hmm. But if they're simply abusing someone else, not because they're abusing you, but because in some way you are dominant over that person, that makes it abuse.
That's just I've never known anyone that fit that it was in that category, but I'm sure it happens.
It happens, and I'm not talking about not a squirrely man. This is a man who he's a man's man, and it still could happen. It still can happen.
And how common would that kind of occurrence be in terms of women attacking, domestically abusing other men? I'll just say it like that.
I don't think, I personally don't think it's that common. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's common enough that we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm. We think about the causes of domestic violence, and one thing we talked about this morning is, income.
Yes. Stress.
Stress, money, worries.
Yes. Just everyday stress of going on a stressful job, and then you're coming back home, and any little thing could cause you to set off, because you've been holding this in all day. Even if it's not the person that's standing in front of you, you actually started this. You could have started it this morning. Well, somebody else started to get on your nerve. And by the time you got home, because you really can't do that on the job. You can't really abuse somebody that you work for. So what do? You come home. And you find somebody that you can be dominant over.
Let's talk about the event that you have coming up in August.
Yes. That event is going to be an after-hours networking fundraiser where 100% of the proceeds from that day will be donated to the families of the fallen heroes.
Explain what happened with that. Why did that come about?
That came about from the recent incidents in Dallas, and within the next week or two, we had the same incident in Baton Rouge.
And I remember having that conversation with you, thinking, I wish I could do something.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do something positive. And then you and I began to collaborate.
Yes, we did. And we came up with a great idea.
I think it's a super idea. The date is August 3rd. The location is Houlihan's. The address is?
The address is 9365 Rain Lily Trail in Fort Worth, Texas, 76177.
And the time is?
The time is going to be from 3 to 7 p.m. if you're in person. However, 24 hours a day, you can go to the